Popular book talk books that I just hated, did not like, I just didn't. This is just my opinion, I don't care. There are so many popular books that I love that people hated, like it goes both ways. It's not that serious. I don't care if you hate my favorite book. You shouldn't care if I hate your favorite book. Anyways, let's get into it. Number 1, Icebreaker. I'm sorry. This book genuinely, first of all, what was the plot? Yes, Nate plays hockey, and yes, Anastasia was a figure skater, but like, I feel like that wasn't, we never really saw them skate together. I just thought it would be a bigger plot point than it was. So when I read the book, I was like, we get to the point. And that book was like 500 pages of just nothing. Like, nothing happens. Anastasia was so annoying, but what really just, I was already not enjoying it whenever she fell through the ice, like seriously. After that, I swore off Hannah Grace books, but I do want to read Daydream because I think that cover is so cute. Okay, next is The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. The first Frida McFadden book I read was The Housemaid. It was all over Book Talk, so I was like, let me get into it. Loved it, still love it to this day. The Housemaid's Secret was okay. The Housemaid is Watching, girl, what was the point? And it wasn't suspenseful at all, which is the whole point of a thriller. I was bored out of my mind. I was just over it. Now we have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Okay, I wouldn't say I hated this book, but I just didn't love it as much as everyone else did. The banter was too much for me. Like, calm down. That, and it just felt like a bunch of books jumbled into one. Like, I do see why people could like it, but it just didn't do it for me. Never Lie by Frida McFadden. This book was so good, but again, the plot twist makes no sense. The plot twist has to make sense. I have a whole video talking about thrillers and like POVs and like what makes sense and what doesn't, if you want to watch that, but like it just didn't make sense. When it doesn't make sense, you lose me because like you lied to me. It's called Never Lie, don't lie to me. Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I was not believing this love story. I just couldn't get into it. It took me so long to read this book. Bored. I just didn't think the characters had any depth. It seemed very surface level, and I just wasn't convinced that they actually liked each other. Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. And y'all, I wanted to love this book. I want to be in the Shatter Me crew because everybody loves that series. I've only read the first book, didn't like it, and I saw that she made a spin-off series, and like the cover looks so good, I want to love it. So is it worth it to keep going? Didn't have a plot. Nothing happened the entire book. I'm like, okay, it was just a lot of sitting and waiting. Nothing happens until the very end, and then like that's literally the very end, like on the last page something happens. Everyone talks about Aaron Warner, and we really didn't see him too much in that book, and he didn't seem very great in that book either. Should I keep going with the series? Yes or no? I've got a lot more to say, so if you want a part 2, just put it down in the comments and I'll make a part 2. But yeah, those are just popular book talk books I could not get behind.